It didn't take long for the vultures to begin to circle. In the past few weeks, a major auto manufacturer has been recalling its vehicles because of some reported safety concerns. Well, it didn't take long for the vultures and the roaches which live under rocks to begin to crawl out. And who am I referring to? The lawyers. Yes, our beloved legal profession, whose main goal is to, help the common man from being victimized? No. They're there to line their own pockets. You see, those class action lawsuits that these guys come up with circumvent the basis of our legal system. If you as an individual is harmed by something and you try to go seek the courts for help, they're going to ask you to prove that you actually were harmed. But with class action lawsuits, that's not the case. What they can do is they can get a few people who were harmed, a few people who may have been harmed, a few innocent bystanders involved, and try to stick it to some large corporate entity. That being, these corporate entities have money to basically pay people off. They're trying to do it to auto manufacturer. They've done it in the past to a tire manufacturer when they had problems, drug makers, the tobacco industry, fast food places, basically any corporate entity. Do the individuals, does the common man, benefit from this? No. All this does is lines the pockets of the lawyers. In fact, we talk about how the bankers were paying themselves these exorbitant, fees, even though they tanked in their jobs. That same type of fee structure occurs with lawyers too. The bigger the case they win, the more money that they get paid by their firms. In fact, it's gotten to the point now that these lawyers will actually, we used to refer to them as ambulance chasers, can now advertise on television, and they have for a number of decades. Have you been injured in an accident? Call us at Dewey, Rickham & Howe. We'll get you a settlement. Now imagine if it's just not one person they're serving, but several million. Consider the billions of dollars that they can extort out of a company in doing so. Now, what we need is some legal reforms so that if you're harmed, yes, you may sue, but you personally sue. You combine up all these cases together into a class action lawsuit, you're opening the whole system up to be gamed and exploited. And in fact, at the time of the tobacco industry problems, there was a conjecture that lawyers were actually cherry-picking juries in jurisdictions where they thought that they could get the most money. So before you sign on with a class action lawsuit, think about this. You may not get paid for this trouble. You're basically being used, just as the defendants, the corporate world, is being used by an entirely different industry, an industry which has no scruples, the legal profession.